What's up guys, Phantom here back with episode 48 of my F1 2019 career mode as we are going to circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix for round 5 of season 3 as we are coming off Azerbaijan where we got beat at the line by Vettel. As we look here at our R&D, as our front wing has been passed, but our fuel consumption and ERS for our power units have failed, as we've now finished off everything that they didn't upgrade from last season to this season. So we will go to qualifying.
Qualifying's about to kick off any moment here at the circuit Barcelona Catalunya. No doubt that today will be full of action on the track. In recent seasons, much talk has been made about tyre wear. Some say it gets in the way of the racing, others say it's always been part of the sport. Are we going to see drivers trying to look after their tyres here, or throw caution to the wind and worry about that when it becomes a problem?
Tyre wear is always something you have to consider to a certain degree. Finding a good car balance that suits the circuit will help prolong the life of the tyre, but it's true that some circuits, such as this one, are more challenging than others. How hard you can push them depends on your strategy and how tight the battle is around you.
As we start out here in Q2, as we go through this just terrible chicane, it's just awful. As we come onto the front stretch here, which should be a great opportunity during the race, but since that chicane's down there, it won't be very good, as you'll be 6 to 7 tenths behind cars coming onto this front stretch as we come into the turn 1, turn 2 complex. As we move to the chicane here at the end of the lap, we go a little bit deep, which kind of narrows our turn in there on the right, as we will come down to finish our lap, and we will be in 14th as Raikkonen is in 12th. So for the first time this season, neither of the Alphas have made it to Q3. So that is a terrible performance, as we will move on to the race.
Good afternoon from a very familiar setting. It's race day here in Spain, and with everything still to play for in the championship battle, there's no room for mistakes in a Grand Prix that's well known for creating them. The Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya then, a high-speed 2.89-mile circuit which demands an efficient downforce package and bravery on the part of the driver, especially through the blind right of turn 9, which we might just see taken flat this weekend. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Can we talk about Toro Rosso? We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
There are a few downcast looks within the team this weekend. I think they've been hit fairly hard by the new regs. But this is only the first step down a long road of development, and even if they don't maximise their points today, there are plenty more up for grabs this season.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Grosjean, Bottas, Carlos Sainz and Butler, Verstappen, Weber, Leclerc and Lando Norris, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Oldtimer and Stroll, Ricciardo, Kvyat, Nico Hulkenberg and George Russell, Giovinazzi and Sergio Perez completes our grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
As we sit here on the grid in P13 after Perez's 10th-place grid penalty, as the 5 lights are out and away we go, we get a pretty average start there, as it looks like Stroll's got a great jump, so has Ricciardo, as we are back down to 14th, as we lock up on the curb there and slightly hit Stroll in the back there, as we have Ricciardo still to our inside there, as we're going to have to go around the outside, as we use the rumble strip there for a little bit of aiding for us, as we try to figure out a way to get through all these cars, as this car definitely should not be down in 14th, as we dive down the inside of Stroll and Magnussen, as now we are 3 wide going into the left-right chicane here. I don't know, would you even call that a chicane, but as we have made the move stick and we're up into P11 behind our teammate Raikkonen here as we come onto the front stretch to complete 3 laps, as we are right behind our teammate, as we have a fair amount of aero to get around this circuit here, so they will drag us down the straights as we're going to make a pretty good sized lunge there down this inside of Raikkonen, and we will hold it around the outside, which will now turn into the inside as we will make the move stick as we move on to lap 5 here, as we are behind Norris and Grosjean here, as we're going to brake a little bit too late and we hit the back of Norris, which will put us under pressure from our teammate Raikkonen. But on the next lap here, we're going to think a little bit better as Grosjean attacks Norris. We're going to set him up here, as this is really just a switchback area for us as we try to get a very good run through turn 3 here, as we're starting to understeer a little bit, but we will get to the inside of Norris as Grosjean is going to come out and block both of us as Norris tries to go around the outside, and then Grosjean kind of weirdly doesn't get a very good run and then just nails us and loses his right end plate there. As you can see, he has no right end plate, which means he'll be very slow against us and everybody behind us, as we'll go through the fast turn 9 here, as with his damaged wing he won't be very good around that corner, as we're going to go down the inside, make the move stick, make sure not to go wide there, as we've just about stayed on the track. As we come on to lap 7 here, at the end of it we kind of cut the last corner as we come into the pits, and we kind of tap the wall there a little bit as we come into the pits, and we actually brake a lot earlier. We came in really slow as Norris is probably caught maybe 3/4 to a second from us. We were about 2 seconds ahead of Grosjean and Norris as we come into the pits, and we will be held, so that 2 second pit stop is all for naught, as it looks like Norris also got held there a little bit because he doesn't look like he's any closer to me than he was going in. As on lap 8 here, we are going to pass a lot of basically all the cars that have not pitted, as Leclerc is ahead of us. As we come on to lap 10, as Vettel has also lost his right end plate and he is super slow, as we're going to try to go around the outside, and we just I don't know where we're going. We were trying to take the old circuit there, take the MotoGP circuit, as we kind of fall back in the line. But Vettel is really slow, as we've caught him probably by 5 seconds in 3 laps, as Norris looks like he wants some of Vettel as well, as we go down the inside and make the move stick on him very easily.
Okay, some information on Sainz. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
As Jeff has told us, Sainz has problems up ahead, and there's green, yellow, and then there was green flags, as Sainz is going very slowly there, as whatever mechanical problems he has gave way on to turn 9 here, as Leclerc's passed him, as that's meant he's pretty much held up Leclerc up to 2.6 seconds there, as we will not be able to catch Leclerc, as pretty much in the last lap we were pretty even to him up until the last lap, as Hamilton has won, as he looks to pull out about 3/4 to a second on us, as we will come across the line to finish P7, which isn't bad considering where we started.
Well, I hope we can do better than that at the next race. Not our best day by any means.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions, and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today, and the results speak for themselves.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, A well-earned victory for Mercedes. Let's have a quick look at how the driver's standings have changed. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Well, there's a lot of incredible driving out there today, Crofty, but if I had to pick someone, it's got to be Sergio Perez. Fantastic driving.
Let's move on to the constructors. No change in the top spot, but with today's points, their hold on the lead is getting weaker. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.